Hello everybody and welcome to Sunkissed. My name is Courtney. Today we're going to be getting into Fruits Basket Season 3 Episode 7. Last time we left off, it's been a couple of weeks since I've seen it, but I have my notes here. So the last time we left off, Sugar Ray talked about this final banquet, this being the last one. Toru says she wants Kyo, and of course Kyo wants her. And Kyo then saw the hat that Toru has, and he had a flashback and a memory of apparently probably what happened with Kyoko, between him and Kyoko. I'm assuming that he was somehow involved and that's why he feels so guilty. So yeah, let's go ahead. I can't wait. I have 2 episodes to watch tonight. I'm so excited. Then I have to wait a week. So let's go ahead and get into this episode. Get comfy for this show.
I decided to keep living for someone who does.
Is that Kyoko?
It's enough. But I kept busy and bounced back pretty well. How could I not? I've got Toru on my side after all. What? It's true. She is so darn cute.
Tatsuya Honda. You don't want to go see him anymore?
I wonder how much time and effort it'll take for you kids to find your answers, your reasons for living.
She said that. It sounded ridiculous. That's why it happened, isn't it? That's why my mom died. Didn't she want to tell me it was my fault? And you too. Even your fond smile became hate in the end.
Come on inside, Mom. We'll stay there forever, safely inside the house. You wouldn't disobey your dear mother, would you? I won't forgive you. But come soon, or something even more terrifying will happen.
Toru?
The food's almost ready!
He'll wander down eventually.
What are those, hamburger patties?
And in the same dream. Is that why they came? To remind me that I need to know my place? Because I thought maybe, just maybe, Toru loved me back.
She does.
Please. Who was that kid?
Oh, Ren.
What are you doing in this part of the estate?
Sometimes I need to venture out, find somebody interesting to talk to.
Speaking of which, I hear you pressed Isuzu into your service and asked her to fetch a certain box for you.
My, word travels fast. It sounded like you were suggesting that I go and retrieve it from her.
Me? I would never.
In any case, the operation failed miserably, because no one other than me has the right to touch Akira. His flesh, his blood, his soul, anything that is connected to him in any way would be sullied by someone else's hand.
There has to be a successor.
True. No one wants outsiders to fall heir to the Soma fortune.
Akira and I met not by chance, but because we were fated to.
Nobody wants to face death alone. All these people, and none of them have noticed. But I see what they don't. Because I'm different.
Noticed
So
what?
let me carry it all for you instead. I love you.
No! This cannot be allowed! You're just a lowly servant!
But the 2 of us are in love.
Silence!
She saw my loneliness when no one else did. She saw it, and she cried for me.
We had each other, and we didn't need anybody else. We were happy. That was enough for me. Though it didn't last.
If someone's going to be haunted by Akira's ghost, let it be you and you alone.
Come back! There's something wrong with you, all of you! You should be thanking me! I'm the one who saved Akira when he was on the brink of death! Don't you see? It's all because I was with him! I didn't have any call for me. Why? He's gone. My Akira! At least assure me that he didn't die alone! It happened suddenly. There was no time to call for you. Akito was with him. As the new family head, Akito will carry out Akira's final wishes. That's right! You're never more than a toy for Akira to have a time with! How dare you! Gone! You're useless! Wrong. You're wrong. You were chosen one. And I was promised eternity. Everyone was waiting for me. If you mark Father's words, then the one nobody needs is you. Your pathetic fantasy of undying love and eternal bonds, something that unnatural will never last. Eventually, it will fall apart. And you'll learn the hard way that no one really wanted you. Akira.
Why did she love him?
You're right.
Like I
I didn't realize.
don't think it was like real love. I think it was like maybe
I need
because
to
it got her
talk
out of servitude, maybe.
God and the rat who stands first among the zodiac animals. Two roles that haven't been reborn in so long. It was different back then. I could show off in front of her, prove I was special. I could fight back in my own way. Yuki left the main estate to go live in that house with Shikure. So apparently the rat was the next one to desert you. Don't let your one night stand with Shikure go to your head. I haven't been deserted and I won't be. Ever. All of them will come back to me in the end. You think the ones who get a taste of the outside world will return? Prove that nobody can break these bonds you always talk about. Succeed and I'll admit defeat. But if you do lose, leave the family for good.
I'd like to let Kyo come live at my house. Well, him and one other person, actually, if I have your permission.
I believed that I could win. That no one could sever our bonds. Like I'd die if I didn't say it. I repeated the same words over and over. They're leaving. They're leaving me behind.
Oh Jesus! She's got a
Funny.
sword.
I woke up this morning. So simple. I should have just done this to begin with. Give Akira back to me. Everything of Akira's belongs to me.
She doesn't seem nervous.
To this woman,
I mean, everybody else does.
however I could. You want it that badly? You can have the stupid thing. Deep down, I always knew.
I know that you must be frightened, but I promise I'm not leaving you behind. Even if you can't see me, I'll be there by your side. Comfort Ren, make her happy. We all knew the truth, that I would die when I was still a young man.
Why though?
And not just any child, but a special being with a divine purpose. I only wish that we could have made our peace.
Oh, there he goes.
Ren.
You mustn't let yourself be fooled.
Was there anything in that
He
box?
himself said he would be by your side.
It almost looked like it was empty.
This is for you. Always remember, Akira belongs to you. Is there something inside? It's a great treasure. Akira's soul.
Yeah. Akira's soul. There's nothing there.
That's right. It's empty. Always has been.
Hmm.
This has been broken all along.
Hito? His bond? Broken? What? How? Why? Oh my gosh!
I don't really know how I'm feeling. resentment, regret, remorse, a lingering sense of connection. You've lived your whole life with us bonds after all.
Yeah.
It's hard and lonely
No.
saying goodbye. Breaking apart. How much longer till the final farewell?
How dare you allow a weapon to be brought in here? Like you can talk! Your charges has tried to murder his own mother!
What is happening in this family?
Akito.
About the box. I believed in it. But I thought maybe there was an invisible power inside. Maybe I couldn't get rid of it. I didn't want to look into it again. I clung to it. That feeble hope. All these years. Don't you see? Nobody taught me otherwise. This was the life they gave me. Nobody ever offered me another one. So how do I ask when I don't know what to ask?
You can start now. Begin learning. Let's do it. Let's change Akito. So
Too
please.
late. It's far too late for you to say that. Why didn't you say it in the beginning? Why didn't you push me away? Why didn't you abandon me?
I know.
Now? You changed your mind?
I know.
Stay and lecture.
No! No!
You didn't help me by staying. That kindness of yours, leaving me half saved and half rejected. We're done. You screwed up. Now pay for it. With your life. But it's too late. For both of us.
No!
Yeah, looks done, right?
Ugh.
I wonder if the cat got to it. Kiro! Wait for a minute. I have something to tell you.
No! Damn it. Okay, episode 7 of Fruits Basket. Well, let's just start from the beginning. There was a flashback of Kyoko talking with Kyo, and to be honest, I didn't write down, that's all I wrote down. And I can't remember what they were talking about. I know that they were talking about Toru, I think, about how cute she was, and Kyo was like, well, what about the dad? Don't you want to see him still? And then it went into like his nightmare that he was having of watching his mom kill herself. I guess she walked out in front of a bus or a train. I think it sounded like a train. I heard like train tracks, I think. And I'm assuming that means that he was there when she killed herself. And then she was like, come stay with me, come be with me, forever, Kyo. I don't know if that was like a nightmare of like the mom telling him to kill himself and join her in the afterlife or whatever. And then it flashed to what we saw last episode, which was Kyo looking at Kyoko with blood all around her and face down, and like there had just been an accident. So, and there was, a voice saying, I couldn't tell if this time it sounded like Kyoko or if it sounded like Akito. Last time, the voice, when it was saying, I'll never forgive you, it sounded like Akito's voice. So I'm like, Kyoko would never say that. I don't think that if she knew that he was involved, I don't think that he murdered her. I don't think that at all. I think it was just an accident. And I don't think that that she would hold that against him. I could be wrong, and that would be a huge twist because I just don't see her as being that kind of person. Unless, you know, the I will never forgive you part means, you know, now Toru has nobody in her life, you know. But I honestly don't think that, I think it was just an accident. And I think that it was Akito's voice he was hearing, that if she knew that he had done that, that Akito would for sure be like trying to get into his head and say she would never forgive you for that. So you could never tell, you know, Toru. So we had that, and and then he had a vision too, or in the nightmare he saw Toru laying dead in the street or wherever. So that's not good. And then we had Ren and Shigure talking, and we had a flashback, not a flashback, well, I mean a flashback, just a flashback we've never seen, to Ren meeting Akira and getting together, and she was a servant. I don't know that we knew that before, maybe we did and I just missed it, but so she was a servant in the house, and he was sickly apparently, because when he died, he died fairly young, and he kind of looked a little bit like, what's his name? Yuki's brother, Ayame. He kind of looked a little bit like that, just like the white hair and then the white lashes and stuff, and just real, like pale and but yeah, I guess with him being sickly, I think I kind of missed it. I think that when they were talking, because I didn't realize at first it was a flashback. I thought it was something that was happening now, and then I almost thought that they were talking about Hattori, about marriage, you know, not working out again. But it was a flashback to Akira, and so I'm assuming that he was supposed to maybe marry somebody else, and maybe because he's so sickly that he's like, well, I don't think it's for me. I'm really not sure. Again, I think I missed it. I'm gonna need to go back and when I have some time to maybe rewatch a few of these episodes, because these last few have been really jam-packed with a lot of information and stuff just happening to everybody. But Ren and Shigure talk, and she wanted Shigure to get that box from Akito, and he see, I really should have wrote more down because I'm missing stuff and now things are just jumbled together. But didn't he say he wanted her to have it, or did he say he didn't want her to have it? I don't know. It was one of those two. I think he said he didn't want to get it for her because the only one that should have it is Akito, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm probably wrong. But I kind of thought that Shigure would like give in to Ren, but he didn't. He blew her off, and I mean, he's the kind of person that's gonna use people, right? I love Shigure, but I'm not liking him too much in this season, but I think that's supposed to happen. But anyway, it's fine. And then we had the Ren coming into where Akito was with a knife, about ready to kill her own daughter, because she wanted the damn box, which she thought held, I'm assuming what she thought held Akito's ashes, but turns out box was empty. That one servant later that I can't stand, she said something like she had given that to Akito, and she had told, I think she said she had told Akito that it held his soul, so that's why the box was empty. And so Akito threw it at Ren, and we found out that the box was empty, and then we had Akito about ready to kill her mom, and a bond broke. Hiro's bond broke. I don't understand what's happening. Like, I don't, like the other ones that broke or have frayed have made more sense, because we've had, I mean, Kurono's, we don't know what happened. It just broke, right? And then we had, who else? We had, what's his name? Oh, we had Momoji's break. Did that one make sense? I don't remember now. I don't remember now why his broke. Because Haru's frayed when, like, after he got done speaking with Akito. So that one made sense. I don't know that any of the other ones have made sense. Like, Hiro wasn't even in this episode until then. So I'm not sure if it's supposedly going in some kind of an order. So, okay, let's think about this. The first one that broke was the rooster, right? The second one that broke completely was the sheep. And then this one that broke was I'm sorry, not the sheep, the rabbit, Momoji. And then the third one that broke completely was the sheep. I don't remember, I would have to go or look it up or something. I don't know if, like, there's a specific order that they're supposed to be linked by. If that makes any sense. That's the only thing in my head that I can think of that would make sense as to why specific ones at specific times are breaking. And I'm assuming if it's going, well, Haru's hasn't broke completely. So he was like the second one to the banquet, right? Because the rat rode up on his back. That's the betrayal, right? And then the cat never made it to the banquet. Can the cat's bond even break? Are they actually bonded? Is the rat's, if it's going in some kind of an order, then the rooster would have been last in line, and then the rabbit, and then the sheep. I don't know. That's in my head. That's the only logical, I've got to make up a logical reason, and that's the only thing I can come up with, is that in the very beginning when we saw, and maybe in the very beginning when we heard the story, we saw the line of the animals going to the banquet. I don't remember what order they were in, but I do remember the cat never made it. Yuki was first because he rode on the ox's back, or the rat was first because he rode on the ox's back, which would be Yuki, and then that would mean that Haru would be next in line. After that, I have no idea what the order would have been. So I'm assuming if Kiyo is even bonded to Akito, would his break last? It's obviously not broken, so it wouldn't have been broken first. Would his break last? Would Yuki's break last? Because the rat and the god are pretty much side by side. I don't know. But it's interesting, and it's interesting too that when their bonds break, they say they feel free, but they also say that they feel like sadness and confusion and regret and pain. So I don't know, how, and then how is that somehow going to change their personality? Are their personalities linked by their spirit animal and this bond that they have? I don't know, like Kurano obviously seems, we didn't know him when he was a kid, other than little flashback that we get here and there. We had one today when they were talking about Akito being born, but yeah, I don't know. We don't know his personality before, but his personality after, I think, is just kind of he's only like that because of what Akito begged him, don't leave me, and he said that he just couldn't leave this child the way she was, and I don't know if anything's gonna change. We haven't seen, we only just saw Hiro just now, and we haven't seen Momiji since. Well, we did see Momiji today, and he seemed normal. He seemed like his old self, but I feel like with Momiji sometimes it's a front that he puts on, kind of like Toru. He puts on a happy face because his story, like his childhood and stuff like that, is one of the sadder ones in my opinion. And the fact that he still lives at the estate, and his mother has no idea who he is, and his sister has no idea who he is, and he has to kind of be confronted with that day in and day out. So I don't know if his personality is going to change at all. I just want, it's understandable that they feel the way they feel when their bonds break. But I hope that by the time that this end of the season is over, that they're all at least moving forward in the right direction of being happy and being free, and being okay with being happy and being free. If we don't get to see like an epilogue of like 5 years later or whatever, I at least want them to be moving in the right direction. All of them, not just some, like all of them. Even Shugure. I like Shugure. I feel like he puts on a little bit of a front too. I feel like they all do, because they kind of have to. They can't be themselves, because of Akito's fury. And her insecurities of being, I get what she was saying in this episode with, being head of the family was thrust upon her, like she was born special. Her mother resented her for being special, and she resented her for Akira loving her and knowing that she was special, and Akito didn't have a choice, right? It's like, I mean, I'm not a part of a royal family or anything, but I can only imagine that that's what it's like for, let's take the obvious, Prince William, right? He's not going to have a choice to whether or not he wants to become king or not. He's going to be king. And he was raised that way. He was raised knowing that one of these days, that responsibility was going to fall to him. And I can only imagine how hard it is to be in that kind of a situation, to be raised in that kind of a family. No matter how much you love your family and stuff, you don't really have the freedoms that the majority of the rest of the world does, just because you've got an image to uphold. And that's just how society works, right? You see it with, children of famous people, super famous people. Like, if, once they grow up, they just were thrust in this life, whether or not they do anything on their own or not. But so I can only imagine, I get what she was saying about, I didn't have a choice. Like, I didn't choose this was chosen for me. I didn't, and there was, because she was a god to these people, who was she gonna turn to ask for guidance? Her father had just died. Her father apparently was the head of the family. And then it was known that he was gonna die young. And I don't know how old she was when he died. She wasn't that old, 5 maybe? Not 10, because, I mean, she's roughly, no, because she's, I wrote it down, I just saw it. I think they said a few episodes back that Akito is over 20 years old. So she's a few years older than like Yuki and Kyo and them, but not by much, because they're like 16, right? 16, 17 years old. They're in their second year, so they're probably around 17. I mean, at most, she's probably 5 years older. So at this point, Nico, I really wish that you would go around the table. Come on. I don't know at this point when I think she was already the family head, right? When Yuki was born. Or maybe she wasn't. I don't know. Maybe that's why it took until Yuki was like 5 for him to meet Akito, because she hadn't become the family head yet. I'm not sure. I'll have to go back and rewatch maybe, or I don't know, maybe you guys can tell me. Or it hasn't come up yet, I'm not sure. So I don't know what they're trying to do with Akito in this season. I don't know if they're trying to redeem her. I feel like after this episode, maybe she's a little bit more redeemable. I didn't think that before. I thought before, like, there wasn't anything that could be said or done to make me feel sympathetic towards her. But I kind of felt a little sympathetic towards her in this episode, because her mother is crazy. like cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, okay? She's insane. And I don't know, she was raised in servitude as well, but at some point, it's like, at some point you've got to take responsibility, right, for your own actions. you know that at a certain point in your life, your brain is developed enough that you know the difference between right and wrong. And I mean, it's like a serial killer, right? They were raised a certain way by their family, most of them, and they've got no conscience. And I don't know if that's how Ren was raised, and she's just crazy because of it, or is she just a bad apple? And then I can't remember if they said why Ren wanted to raise Akito as a boy. Did they say why? Is it because she was jealous for another girl to have Akito's affection? Does she just hate all women? I don't understand. Did I miss that? I'll have to go back in my notes maybe and look to see if they said why they were raising Akito as a boy. And I don't remember that little conversation that the 4 Somas had. IMA, which IMA, stop. No. Come on. You gotta come up here then. Come on. Come on. I don't want him to bump the camera again. He's the second time in a row he's done that. Second day in a row he's done that. Anyway, so yeah, I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, let's get into this next episode, guys. So I hope you guys like this video, and if you did, please like, share, comment, subscribe. And I hope to see you guys on the next video. Bye.